All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go with Game 2. It is, of course, the 4th series, match point for Team MouseSports. Let's go ahead and get into it as we see Chef and Hasselhoff facing off against each other. Now, winner of the NASTL Grand Finals, which are what we are in right now, will receive $6,000.
That's a lot of money, man. And
Dude,
$3,000.
I can reload 60 times at $100 cash games.
Oh, yes. Of course, you don't need to do that because you always make money when you play poker, man. You're too good. Now, Mr. Bidder, myself, Rotterdam, not the case.
Not so much.
We might need those 60 reloads.
So you'll get there. It's cool.
I don't know. If I get there, it'll be paved with lots of lost games, so maybe I don't want to get there.
Nah, you're up overall. I know. Home Story Cup did you well.
I'm pretty good at poker. It's just I definitely, just like my Protoss play, like I think I'm a pretty good Protoss player, and then I still have that voice in my head where it's like, don't do this. What do you, hey, don't, no, what do you, oh, come on. And then afterwards I'm in my stream going, okay, so I should have done that. You know, like, I know I'm not supposed to do it, and I do it like last night.
I'll tell you why.
Ugh.
I'll tell you why. iNcontroL.
What's up?
Much like a lot of people, but more so for you, I think. You're a very passionate person, and you go with your emotion. And sometimes it gets the best of you.
That's true.
And you like to play with your emotion, which there's nothing wrong with that. I don't want to say that it's terrible by any means, or
I get
it's
what you're
wrong.
saying. Yeah.
But sometimes it's just like, hey, I want to do this, and we just do it. And a lot of people have a lot of success with it.
That's true. Hopefully someday I will too. Now, spawning pool does go down for the Zerg players. You're not going to try the hatch first, as he was scouted first on tal'darim altar. Top left side is the yellow Protoss Mouz Hasselhoff trailing 0-1 to Liquid Shut, the purple Zerg, hailing from Florida, USA. One of the big North American hopes. A lot of times when Mr. Bidder and Rotterdam are like, all you North American players are trash, we go, no, we're not. We got Chef.
We got Chef.
We got Chef,
That's
baby. Chef, not only one of the most mannered and respectful players in all the scene, also one of the most skilled. And he does such a good job for Team Liquid. Every time that guy gets interviewed, he thanks his sponsors, talks about how happy he is on Team Liquid. He just really brings a great environment around him everywhere he goes. Very public figure, too. He streams a lot of the times and kind of wears his heart on his sleeve. So, you know, you can absolutely tell how he's doing just by tuning into his social media, and I think that's really cool. Now, a little bit less about the players, more into the game. Pylon does go down. Hatchery's going to follow suit, but you'll notice the Nexi has been started before. This was something that Zerg players used to have heart attacks about. They thought that this should be an impossibility. They've kind of come to accept it now, as gameplay has shown that there's little you can do to stop a Protoss if they want from getting their Nexus going faster than your hatchery. It's about making up the difference afterwards.
Yeah, the first 6 Zerglings will enter very close to this natural. It'll force Hasselhoff to probably put down another building. There it is, that gateway that we see so many times. He will probably cancel. I love this probe, though, in the bottom right-hand corner of Chef's base. It's just such a clever probe.
Yep.
Just because it gives you options. You can scout your opponent very easily. Not only that, you have the capabilities of actually doing some gateway pressure if they don't actually catch this, which Chef, if he is due diligent with his scouting, he should be able to catch that. But so far, we haven't seen the Zerglings be all too active.
Less so against Zerg, but more so against Protoss and Terran. If a probe is in an opponent's base like this, I and probably every other Protoss will TLO the crap out of you. You will absolutely drop that pylon. Will absolutely warp in your base. And the reason you say less so against Zerg is because Zerg these days doesn't rely nearly as much on things like spine crawlers.
Yeah.
Of course, you're going to have immediate production in their base, which is great. But the other part of this, too, is Zerg should be spreading Overlords everywhere. So is there any reason for an Overlord to be over here right now? Absolutely not. But a good Zerg will have more Overlords than they do places to put them, and an Overlord should be over there. Precisely for this purpose, but also because later you want to see things like a Warp Prism, or just you just want to have vision of your entire base. There's no reason not to. Chef, on the other hand, is just going to have a third macro hatch. A lot of players would put this up by the rocks at the potential third, and then bring the rocks down. Chef's opting not to do that, which is very interesting. This is looking to be 2-base play.
Yeah, it could be difficult to actually do that, because if Hasselhoff does something like a 2-base pressure, and for instance, if he gets control of that Delnaga tower, he basically has a free base, right? Because he can go into the natural, he can go into the third, And now you have 2 hatcheries over there that's blocking out. It's really easy to force field. So there's a lot of problems actually that enter in when you do something like that. Just at the positions, I would say. If it was Chef in the bottom left-hand corner, it would be completely different.
Yeah. Look how crazy good this spotting Overlord is for Chef on that cliff overlooking the natural. Sees the lack of what he thinks could be a 3rd or 4th gas. He notices it is at least on... he couldn't be on more than 3 gas is the point I'm trying to make here. Which is good information. And that's something Zerg players need to copy. It looks like, oh gosh, that should get picked off by a stalker. Actually, if you're in exactly that spot, Protoss can't see it. Not until they get air units. Meanwhile, we're going to have a little bit of a skirmish in the middle of the map. A lot of Zerglings coming out. They are slow Zerglings, though, so the Stalker should be able to get away. Zealot backs into the corner where it's the most cost-effective place it can possibly be, and that's why we're about to see something like 10 Zerglings lose to a Zealot and a Stalker. Chef, taking his loss, is going to back away. Meanwhile, double Evolution Chamber inside that main.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think this is Ling Infestor.
It looks to be shaping up that way. Now, I think he needs to destroy these destructible rocks ASAP. He doesn't actually have the units to do that just yet. 3 spine crawlers are going down from Chef. Why do you think 3 spine crawlers? This seems a little interesting.
Well, that looks more like Muta, but the double evolution chamber is a hard thing to justify if you go Muta as well. And look at that. Actually, I talked about how usually Zergs don't make spine crawlers, but here we are seeing the pylon go inside the base, and Chef is making said spine crawler. Now, he's got a lot of Lings coming out. That's partly to destroy the rocks. It's also partly to have the base units. Chef's so good at that. He's always going to threaten that counter, but Gretorp, big warping of units he's not going to wait for more warpins. This is a mistake. He should. I mean, at this point in time, he's not being scouted. Why not get 8 or 12 zealots in that base? Because 8 or 12 zealots cannot be. I mean, off of 3 hatcheries, you can't make enough Zerglings at +1. That's absolutely ridiculous how strong they are. But like this, Chef's going to have time to react.
Well, Chef was actually following a single stalker. Here's the second warpin of Zealots over here. So we'll be up to 8. He's not targeting anything down. Now finally going for the infestation pit. Is he just going to gun for it? No, he doesn't. He turns around for the Zerglings, and the Zerglings should be able to clean this up very easily. Spine crawlers can come in here. And this is quite a shame for Hasselhoff. He just threw away 800 minerals for really just some lost mining time, a couple of drone kills here and there. But
a couple things. It's not a full waste just because Zealots traded against larva / Zerglings is actually usually very cost effective for Protoss just because well, I mean, if in this case, let me explain why it's not the case. If the Zerg was on 3 bases, it would be because they'd want more drones. But in this case, he's on 2 bases. He's actually fully saturated, so that larva is supposed to go towards Lings and perhaps Infestors. But the big mistake that Hasselhoff's made was he was chasing queens. Look at how battered these queens are. That's fine and good. They're battered, but they're going to heal because there's no Void Ray or anything else to come kill them. So essentially, you were chasing a great white whale. Like it just never ended up happening for you.
That was such a shame. Now, I feel like Hasselhoff did have the advantage with staying on 2 base against 2 base, but now that they're still on the same amount, but obviously Hasselhoff threw away just 1,200 minerals right there for maybe 400 or 500 minerals. I feel like Chef is nicely ahead. He's going to go ahead and take his 3rd over here in the top middle position. And we might even see a double expansion. I wouldn't be surprised if we see that.
He's also making a Spire Gretorp, and this is...
Really?
This is the thing that breaks my brain. Striker used to do this all the time. And you'd think off of Ling and Fester, there's no way in heck they have enough gas to make Corruptors against Colossus as well. They actually do. They'll make like 6 or 7 Infestors. They won't make 20. And of course they're taking a 3rd or 4th at the time, but even off of just the 2 base economy rather, they will actually have enough gas to make 5, 6, 8, 8 Corruptors.
No, Hasselhoff.
That's a big mistake.
And 1-1 is finished for those Zerglings. They are supercharged where their Zealots don't have +2 attack just yet, so they don't do maximum damage to those Zealots.
Oh, what a nightmare.
Or the Zerglings, rather. And the Zerg, wow, losing those observers sentries have to be the worst possible situation for him. That's
kicking the guy when he's down. He didn't need that. The other thing here too is Hasselhoff needs to reel in his Chrono Boost at 100 on that main Nexus. It's not, I don't want to make this sound like this is the biggest deal in the whole world, but he is trying to produce Colossus and upgrade its range at the same time. So there are things to Chrono Boost. And there we go. So he's kind of a little bit late on that, but kicking the life. Now look at the production tab. That's what I'm talking about. 2-2 on the way. Roach speed. Corruptors being produced. +1 air attack. And you're like, what? How does a Zerg do this? How could they possibly produce Infestors and have Corruptors coming out with all these upgrades? I don't understand it.
expecting the team to be a little bit careful. You know, I do like this progression, actually. You go Infestors, you show Infestors, and it does bait the Colossus. Colossus are always a good unit, but especially against Infestors, you are able to target them down. Along with that, it kind of mitigates the damage that Infested Terran do, because you have that AoE to help out quite a bit. Of course, you do need sort of a higher Colossus count, but still, it helps out quite a bit.
Well, don't get me wrong. I'm actually, if anything, I'm saying it's too good of a composition.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand how it happens, but we do have 4 Infestors and a single Corruptor kind of wandering out here. This is a little bit silly. Oh, he's spotting. Nice. Never mind, that's fantastic. He'll at least get the Robo. This could cost him the Infestors, but killing the Robo at this point in time is just fantastic, because as you can see, we're just on the verge of seeing Roaches coming out. So the Robo will go down. Should target the Assimilators, something that Gretorp was actually talking about last night when we were playing StarCraft. It's a very underrated move. Really slows down the gas, and of course, if you're a Protoss player, you want every single ounce of gas you can possibly get. Beautiful play from Chef. I love how he exploited that.
Yeah, especially with Protoss being so heavily committed on timings and relative timings based on how much gas you can pump into your army.
Yeah.
Obviously, you have Sentries and Colossus. Those are the two most gas-intensive units in this Protoss death ball. They are so essential. So if you kill off the Assimilators, you are limiting, you know, even though it seems like it's such a small
he's building
investment.
a Twilight Council.
Oh,
no, a terrible misclick.
What?
He's building a second Twilight Council instead of the Robo. So not only is that a waste of gas, but it's... Okay, actually, I don't know. He's got 2 Robos up in his main, so never mind. Okay, cancel it. There we go. Whew, that was a little bit scary. But the worst thing Hasselhoffs could do right now is attack. Unfortunately for him, he doesn't know this, but the Zerg's only on 3 bases. Protoss is taking his 3rd now. You want to be on equal bases. If the Zerg was on like 4 or 5 bases, then yes, you absolutely have to attack. If the Zerg's on 3 bases and you're on 3 bases, you should just sit in your little tree fort and say you're never coming up here and just defend, because that's where all your money should go. But look at this, Hasselhoffs moving out to the middle map. This would be the worst thing. A lot of Roaches, a lot of Corruptors. Corruptors will absolutely cancel out those Colossus, and unless you have good force fields, those Roaches will do a lot of damage to you as well.
It looks like he's gearing up. It is a maxed army from Zerg. Tunneling Claw and Burrow is not yet researched, but they're researching right now. He looks like he's trying to snipe away at some of these pylons. He's going directly up into the ramp. Wow, very surprising, but Zerglings are going to go around to the 3rd base. Corruptors are going to town on those Colossus. The Colossus go down without any fights. Nice force fields, continuation force fields, going to be blocking off some of those Roaches, but this is a great engagement for Zerg, limiting that Colossus count and also taking out the 3rd.
Yeah, the 3rd's in trouble. He's actually running out of force fields because he has such a low sentry count. He got a little bit confused. He was trying to target down the Corruptors and the Roach at the same time. He doesn't have enough firepower to do that. And now with Blink, he's able to start to retain some of his units, but the battle's kind of over, and Chef's actually traded effectively. With Roaches, you don't want to bank Roaches. And look at this. Chef's just going to A-move everything. It's a big rally across the map. Really smart choice, because without sentries, you're almost guaranteed to at least kill something. And in this situation, that's what Zerg wants to do.
He can always do this multi-pronged attack as well.
Right.
Going into the natural, really putting pressure on his opponent. You can see High Templars are trying to be more afraid here, but I don't know if that's the best decision when you're going up against Roach. Maybe something like additional sentries. I'm not sure. It's a really hard position because there's so much gas that's needed for Hasselhoffs. Like, he just needs sentries, he needs stalkers, he needs immortals, he needs Colossus, and he just does not have the capacity of getting all of that. You can see Chef. He's going to take out this 3rd over here finally.
Yep.
And there's nothing Hasselhoffs can do. And, wow, look at this 4th position.
Yeah.
Chef. You cheeky monkey.
And it's being exploited, rightfully so, but there's just too much stuff for him to fight. If you look, Hasselhoff's money's starting to wind down here. His main has been mined out. 3rd was destroyed, so he's going to be on 1 mining base, and that's a huge if. That's if he holds this attack off somehow. And I don't see it. He's going to try to blink back to safety, so he does get behind that wall. Mortals are being walked out. Colossus, of course, cannot afford to be produced because the Corruptors will just cancel them out. And Chef basically said, hey, I killed your sentry, killed your Colossus, now I'm just going to kill you. There's nothing you can do to stop me.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Chef is playing the best StarCraft of his life lately. I mean, he's just
playing good.
Smashing face in IPL. I know he did very well in MLG. Just so many different things. Chef is showing again why he is one of the best Zergs, not just in the North American server, Gretorp, but in the world.
Yeah, I'd be very interested to see his results as a clan war member of Team Liquid. I can't think of the last time I saw him lose in a clan war. He's actually one of the consummate breadwinners, I suppose, of their roster. Of course, you still have to give the title to Hero as probably their top dog, but Chef is vying for that position that I think Rhett would otherwise occupy as the #2 guy behind Hero. But kind of, poor Haswab's still trying to fight on. Again, the money getting winded down. He's down 100 supply.
He didn't have a cybernetics core that whole time, by the way. He got sniped off in the front. He had no cybernetics core. He had to remake it.
Yep.
So no stalkers in that composition. Sentries and zealots are going to be remade, but he should be pretty dead.
Oh, he's dead.
Yeah.
This is the quarterback taking a knee a whole bunch. We're not going to try to make this sound exciting, so it is. It is.
You know what
it
is exciting, sir?
What?
You know what this?
Oh,
this
damn! Ace
Chef.
match.
Yeah, baby.
Ace match. That is exciting. Now let's do this. Who do you think's? Okay, we know Hero.
Sure.
Who comes out for Mouz?
Mouz.
You know who it is? It absolutely is Thorzane.
Yeah.
Do you disagree? Happy can't play, by the way, so it has to be someone from Mouz.
The two people that I would think would be Thorzane or Morrow, and I think Thorzane is definitely playing a better brand of StarCraft right now. So I would actually say Thorzane 100% is wrong.
Oh, Universe, please deliver me a Hero versus Thorzane Ace for the grand finals of the NASTL. Also, please tell Haswabs I love you, buddy. But yeah, you gotta go.
Come on, you can say that.
You gotta skate. There it is.
There it is. G. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go into an ace match after Chef takes out Haswabs 2-0. Really impressive play, but I'm really excited for this coming up match. NASTL Grand Finals. Right now, that's what you're watching. 6,000 to the first place. To the second place, they get $3,000. So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back with that ace match. Don't go anywhere. It's starting to heat up.